welcome back to Cars Yardsy Sports and Sports Car Podcast. I'm here with Lou again.
What's up?
What's going on, man? 2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks in a row, man.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying every bit of it, dude.
Yeah.
I love being in here with you and talking sports. It kind of gets me away from everything else going on over there. And
Yeah.
we get to brainstorm, predict, and talk about things that are happening.
Talk about all the people that are depicted on the tiny cardboard pieces rather than just the tiny cardboard pieces themselves. Speaking of, we were hoping this was going to happen. Aaron Judge hits his 60-second home run.
Yeah, we actually called that. I mean, we didn't call where it was going to happen, but we knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's really good on him.
It was barely over the fence at I can't remember what they call Arlington, as they being Astros fans, but it's Minute Maid Field basically.
Oh.
Like they copied it.
Pretty much.
Yeah. If you look at the schematics, they almost completely copied it. So we were talking about a potential payday for the person that caught it, and you had given your opinions previously about the kid who caught 60 or whatever it was.
61.
61, and he just handed it to him for a few autographs. That's not going to happen this time. There was a $2 million bounty put on it. But guess what? The guy that caught it is
a billionaire.
He's a vice president of a financial holdings company that has 197 billion, dollars
Revenue,
of other people's money that he handles. He's also coincidentally married to an ex-Bachelor cast member. So
he's not hurting for money.
no.
Now, if it was me, I would have sold it.
Yeah. So he is holding on to it. This is a guy from Texas by the name of Corey Yeomans. And again, financial advisor for a pretty big company. He caught it and he made a good catch. He's also, a lot of people make fun of adult men that bring gloves to baseball games. But he caught it cleanly in his glove. Yeah,
he did. Did you watch the replay where the guy to the left actually thought it was going to drop short, so he jumped down in there?
Hey, that is scary. Because they had that tragic incident a few years back at the old stadium.
Yes, where he fell over the railing.
Yeah, and then unfortunately over the weekend there was a fan that fell off an escalator after one of the football games and died.
Oh wow. I didn't hear about that.
Yeah. So it's fans, it gets in that you're caught in a historical moment in that situation, but you got to be careful. I mean, and you're also human bodies can be fragile if we fall the wrong way. We're not cats. So even this guy falling 10 feet or whatever it was, you got to be
land on our back or land on our face.
Yeah. But luckily he was not hurt, but you saw how quickly they whisked him away when he caught the ball.
Oh yeah, security was already on him.
Yeah, and because now there's an instance of one of Judge's latest home runs was caught and it was sold to a collector. I think it was number 60. It was sold for $1,500, which kind of low, but MLB's not going to authenticate it.
Nope.
But so in this case, they whisk him away. It's authenticated. Everything's good. There is still a $2 million offer on the table from an auction house.
Do you take it?
I would take it personally. I mean, I think here's the thing.
If you didn't have a single dollar, no financial worry,
take it.
Take it.
Oh, if I didn't have any financial
worry, you were like this guy, right?
Yeah.
Is that something that would you either give to him, give back to the player? Ask for a couple photos, ask for a couple incentives there so that you can enjoy the sport for the future, because dollar signs are not your problem here. You're financially stable. Or do you hold on to this and kind of just plaque it up and stash it away in a lockbox for 20, 30 years and then hoping it can surpass the rookie card of Mickey Mantle one day?
Well, there's two factors. The market for memorabilia is hot. We've covered a couple items over the past year that have sold for $10 million or close to it. The Diego Maradona's Hand of God jersey sold for 9.6. Then the Jordan jersey sold for 10. Then the Mickey Mantle, which is the highest grade that we'll probably ever see of a 1952, sold for 12.5. Collectibles are hot. You could get $3 million for that ball in an auction, but what are the fees going to be and all that? I would say, not picking on you, but playing devil's advocate, you hassled that kid for not getting the greatest deal with a couple handshakes. So if this guy's a true businessman, even if he doesn't need the money, I don't think he's not giving up that ball for a couple handshakes and autographs. I'll tell you that.
I wouldn't. But what goes to say next year and somebody trumps that 62? Now that card has dropped. I mean, now that ball has dropped.
Sure. Oh yeah.
He's no longer the AL.
If you're gonna sell it while it's hot. If you're going to get it back to Judge, make sure there's something you get out of it. And I don't know what that would be, but maybe you say, hey, I'm a vice president of a financial company that has 180. Yeah, invest $2 million with me, and we'll make more, and then I'll keep the profit.
That's actually not bad.
Yeah, I mean,
I like the way you think.
Yeah, I mean, because you got to get something out of it. If not that, you got to get like 1 million Instagram followers or something. But your wife probably has that because she was a ex-contestant on The Bachelor. So there's got to be something he wants, though. He's a businessman.
I'm pretty sure we're going to find soon out. It's the hottest thing right now. I'm pretty sure in the next day or two, we'll hear what he wants to do with it, and then that'll be the end of it.
I was upset because on the same day that he hit number 62, the Astros took yet another combined no-hitter into the ninth against the Phillies, but they blew it. They ended up giving up 3 hits. Verlander at one point had 8 strikeouts in a row, which tied an Astros record.
Man, I swear, man, every day that goes by, that guy gets older. He gets just better.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big... It's a testament to what that Tommy John surgery can do.
Yes.
But, it's not everyone can do that. And his idol obviously played much longer, being Nolan Ryan. I don't know how much Verlander has in the tank, but he officially finished the season 12th overall in all-time strikeouts. And the guy that he passed on the last day is none other than Max Scherzer. They could meet in the World Series.
They could.
Scherzer with the Mets, but obviously they started together with Detroit. Scherzer's been around for like 15 seasons now. Verlander 17. So we'll see how much longer those guys go.
I think Verlander's got at least another 2. Here's my prediction: Astros, make it to the World Series again, or just shy of it and lose it. He's going to play another season. If they win it, he's going to ride off in the sunset on the high horse.
I hope so.
And just call it with 2 or 3 World Series champions under his belt.
Yeah. But Pujols wants to do the same thing, so not everyone can win in this situation.
Oh yeah, but I'd rather see Verlander go out on top before I see Pujols, honestly.
Yeah, without using trash cans, like just get a clean one. I'm an Astros fan through and through, but we got
we're gonna go ahead and put that in the past. Just like what we're getting into was Barry Bonds. Bonds, like. How many cracked over? How many dingers?
73.
73. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people are trying to say, because he went ahead and did steroids and he did all this stuff and it was cheating and this and that. Okay, he may have done that, but all I know is 73 went over the wall. All right, no matter what.
It did. It cost him the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it definitely cost him. But 73 of those balls went over the ball.
Sure.
Right? That's history. That's always going to be done, set in stone. Aaron Judge probably just didn't get caught.
Yeah. Well, Aaron Judge was 62. That is the all-time American League leading home run tally. And the biggest part, and especially because the Yankees are so big in popular culture and sports culture, was that Maris had 61 and Babe Ruth had 60. So I'm sure he's sighing took a massive sigh of relief because there was only 2 games left after that.
Yeah, and they sat him.
Yeah. And so I can't imagine the pressure. It would have just built until Wednesday night.
Question for you. Would you have sat him in those last 2 games when you was .04 from possibly taking the Triple Crown this year? Or you think the Yankees did that on purpose so they didn't have to really pay him so much because not only would it have set the AL record, but he would have been a Triple Crown winner.
Yeah.
And then you would have really had to pay this guy.
You're going to have to pay him regardless, like that .004 or whatever it was, like that doesn't come into play. Verlander, had he gone out for 1 more inning in his outing, he would have set the all-time lowest ERA if he would have had a clean inning.
He probably would have done that too.
He was .01 away from Pedro Martinez. So
that's a good name to be up there with.
Yeah, so it's kind of like I'm sure those guys care about numbers, but they're going to care more about that they got to rest till Tuesday.
Yeah,
And that's when the Yankees and Astros are, be hosting whoever wins of the wild
October
card.
baseball, baby, and it started getting cold out here in Houston, so we know it's upon us.
Well, cold, yeah.
Well, it's starting to get cooler.
Not 90, not 90s.
Not 90 when you wake up.
That's the important part.
At 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. When you had mentioned Barry Bonds, so just real quick, I mean, McGuire had 70 and Sammy Sosa had 66, so it's kind of funny how people are just dismissing the top three of all time just because of I mean, look, the court appearances didn't help. The way that Bonds talked to the media didn't help. And just, the allegations and all that. But we'll see. Oh, how come? Oh, go ahead.
I said this before. Like, those three names right there made people want to watch baseball.
Yes.
If it wasn't for that home run chase every year for like 5 or 6 years straight, we would not be here talking about baseball. Baseball would not be all that hyped up to what it is right now. So, I mean, if it wasn't for those three, we wouldn't be here doing this. I mean, we need to stop neglecting those three and actually give them credit where credit's due. I hate people really just saying, oh, because they did this. When they went to go test Sammy Sosa, they looked in Sammy Sosa's thing and they found, what they found? Flintstone vitamins.
Yeah.
I mean, like, this man's taking Flintstone vitamins.
Sure.
And you guys are going to rip him for everything he's done.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe once or twice he got hit with a cork bat, but, I mean, sometimes they end up taking some of those bats from batting practice and they sometimes get mixed up in there. So, it could be a 50-50 shot that he knew and they didn't. And
also, pitchers saying for years that MLB themselves juiced the baseballs. So, I mean, but it's just one of those things. It's kind of like the Astros, like, yay, we won the World Series, and what about this? Like, ugh. It's kind of like MLB is always going to claim innocence.
Oh, of course.
But
of course.
The home run, dollars. That was the whole like chicks dig the long ball era, right? So they're not going to go back and go, oh yeah, we messed up the integrity of the game. No, they're going to blame the players always. They're always going to blame the players. Of
course, regardless. Scapegoats.
I mean, and you've seen just what goes on at the commissioner level of NFL versus NBA and versus MLB. NBA. Silver's probably done the best job of connecting with the players and like actually being like allowing them to speak and do what they want. But
an actual commissioner
in the NFL, and I can't remember who was quoted as saying this week, but the NFL is more concerned with the color of a player's cleats than what's going on with Tua Tagovailoa right now.
Right,
where it was just the most brutal aftermath of a hit I've ever seen. When you clinch up like this, that's a sign of brain trauma. And this was a week after he fell down twice, could not walk under his own power. Yep. That's 2 back-to-back games. He's probably going to be out at least 3 weeks, but I don't know what they're going to do with that. And that's a commissioner's call. I mean, you have to put out a call to like, hey, safety, needs to be the focus because a lot of people are turned off by that. I mean, so.
But wouldn't you think that, since we're on this whole safety deal, we'll talk about it. I mean, with how much money that's invested or how much money that is just pouring out of the NFL or any of these leagues, especially the NFL, that you would have already came up with better equipment. I mean, yes, they are slowly but surely getting to better helmets. Like Zeke's got one of the newest helmets out there. And it's actually like protected around, the skull, so it moves. It actually moves when it gets hit. So take up a lot more of the observe up like that pounding on there. Don't you think they would have already delivered these all to the league, saying, "Hey, look, these are the new standards. This is the new helmets. You guys need to do these."
Maybe, but
cleats. Does cleats bother you?
Do cleats bother me?
Yeah, like different colored cleats.
No. It's a fashion. Let them express themselves. Remember how fun it was with Chad Ochocinco doing wild stuff, and like every week you would tune into the Sports Center to see who was going to do a better celebration, him or T.O., right?
Yes.
So no, that doesn't bother me at all. There was a study about 10 years ago that stated the NFL was safer when they had the leather helmets. Like, kid you not. The ones from the 20s and 30s, because you had to concentrate on form tackling because you're like, I feel unprotected. I have to tackle this guy in a way. Because think about it, you're not going to have helmet to helmet because there were no helmets. Yeah. Or the leather helmets were like this. Yeah, and so I'm not saying that they need to backtrack on safety measures, but I think they got to get on to teaching the fundamentals. You think about how all the motion tracking and stuff that goes into the combine and scouting. Someone can make a really in-depth, study, scientific study. Why are these guys up? And show what a non-form tackle does to your neck. Like, you have to teach these guys how to tackle.
Yeah.
Without and I think the again, back in the Ronnie Lott days, going way back, hits by safeties was one of the things you would tune in for, but it was so dangerous. And and then obviously they made all these rules to sort of like put the quarterback number one, but they're not taking into account what's happening to wide receivers, getting hit across the middle. Yeah. Like, that's probably like the worst. Or when we see the mistakes of two cornerbacks diving and hitting a teammate, that gets pretty brutal too. So
that's happened over the last. I think Leonard with the Colts was actually out due to a concussion from both the teammates hitting each other.
So it's just we tune in to see these guys fly around at full speed. Yeah. But at some point you got to be like, maybe we should find some way to skirt that a little bit. I mean, we don't want them to completely take that out of the game, but even so, the XFL is coming back under the rock, right? The XFL. And it was never going to rival the NFL. But even back in 2001, when Vince McMahon first started the league, one of the things they did where the NFL like kind of peeked around and go, oh, maybe we should steal that. They did away with kickoffs.
And the aerial cam too.
Right, that too. But they did away with kickoffs, and they had almost like a rugby style scrum in the middle. And there was a lot of advocates that were like, hey, we should do this because the wedge blockers and stuff on the kickoff, they're getting annihilated. I don't know if you remember Don Beebe way back, but that dude would just like put himself out there. I mean, that's one thing they could do. I don't know if they will.
Somebody running full force, somebody running full force this way. That's just yeah.
But I mean, look,
you think would be cool.
Tua was having a great start to his season, had that 6 touchdown game, and we just hope the guy is safe from here on out. And now all eyes are on everyone. I don't know if anyone was fired or reprimanded, but the dude,
the doctor was fired.
Okay, because he should not have gone into the game before last, and he should not,
Also, the gentleman that discovered CTE sent a message to Tua and said, "You need to just walk away. Yeah. You need to retire."
Yeah,
that is the worst. That is one of the worst ones that they've seen, and he more likely keeps on playing. He could either die on the field or long-term damage, just like Junior Seau happens.
Yeah. That was
how that goes. They need to pay more attention, though.
They do.
They definitely do. They need to stop just seeing money signs, and they need to look at the safety. But as a business, everybody's replaceable.
I know.
So they see Tua as another player, they can find somebody else to replace him.
And what happens when young quarterbacks, have a bad 3 games in a row where they miss 3 games? Oh, they're a bust. So he's constantly fighting against that.
Please let his cards keep on declining. I'll buy them all.
Well, we just hope the guy's back and healthy. But it's becoming an issue. But now it's like a light gets shined on that once a season, but then they just forget. That's basically what happens with that. All right, so we'll get back to more of the fun stuff now.
Yeah. We got a little sidetracked, but
so college NCAA, they recently had this NIL deal, which is name, image, and licensing, meaning players can make money now. Okay, like every SMU athlete, regardless of sport, they get $36,000 a year on top of their scholarship. Because of this NIL deal. So we're going to start seeing these unique ways and basically players promoting and teams promoting themselves. one thing that's happening up in Idaho is that Boise State is releasing the first ever officially licensed college training card set under that NIL deal. There's a line of grocery stores up there called Jackson's Food Stores. The school has partnered with them. They're going to distribute an entire set. Every single player on the team represented, plus the Boise State mascot. It's going to come in 14 card packs for a retail price of $12.99. And 1 in 10 packs has an autograph. The top players that signed autographs are getting a little bit more money. But regardless of if this set sells in the store or not, they're already paid out. They didn't disclose the amount, of course. They are getting paid to be on a college trading card. That is the first time this has happened.
So what do you think about that?
I think it's fantastic. I think it's great. As a fan, like I looked at the packaging online. These are not going to sell online. You'd have to be up in Idaho or buy them on the secondary market. But
be very, very hard to get if you don't live in that area.
Correct. Yeah. And they said, hey, if these sell out, we'll print more.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think that's neat. I mean, I like the fact that, college players are now able to get some of this compensation back. They're over here making the schools and the program in general millions and millions of dollars.
Yes.
And these kids are living, eating ramen and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches every night for dinner.
Yeah.
And they're not getting nothing. So for them to get some type of compensation, I think that's great.
Yeah.
The bad thing I do see about that is that, once you give somebody something and they had enough of it, they're going to want some more. So I can see this probably going south in a way, you say, but north for the students to ask for more money. Maybe in 2 years from now, after they see this thing takes off, they may be asking for $50,000 a year, and this could definitely start putting a bind on some, other students throughout the college system as well.
And the way SMU handles it is it's basically like a business that has started the Boulevard Collective. And SMU Boulevard is where the stadium, Ford Stadium is in Dallas. And they're paying out of this giant fund. So you're talking about like $2.5 million for all the SMU athletes, regardless of sport. Anything.
They'll figure out a way. Hopefully they just do it fair for the best interest in the students, not the school. The school's going to always get paid regardless.
Yeah.
But for the benefits of the students, because some students, they play this game and they get injured and they never make it pro.
Yeah.
Hopefully this will enable them to save some money, put it away, and plan for the worst.
And depending on the sport, you're talking about like 95% of college athletes that once they graduate, that they're done with athletics. So
yeah,
and the threshold just goes down from there. I mean, you only have in all the major sports, you only have 30 or 32 teams, and then you multiply the roster. NFL is like 53, NBA is 12. And it just got MLB is 25. There's just not, So college is a way to maximize your popularity for those 4 years. So I'm totally cool with it. I would if I had if SMU or Sam Houston State was selling these at HEB, I'd buy them all out. But I'm a set collector, so
yeah. I think that's good. That's good that's a good step forward for the student athletes.
Yeah.
So good deal on Boise State for doing that.
And then back to the pros where they make a little bit more money, just a little, just a tad.
Yeah.
A little more than $36,000 a year.
A couple more zeros more.
Right. MLB playoffs are set. There was a wild finish in the NL where the Brewers missed the playoffs entirely by a game. The Phillies, if they would have dropped all three to the Astros, they would have. I don't know if they would have won the tiebreaker with the Brewers, but this year there was no tiebreaker games, probably much to the chagrin of all the Mets fans because the Mets and Braves tied.
Go Mets. Go Braves.
The Mets and Braves tied. The Braves won the tiebreaker, which I believe the first tiebreaker was head-to-head, but so they were the division winners.
We swept them in that 3-game series at home.
Okay.
That was great. We were up by 2 games. The magic number was 1. All we had to do was win 1.
Yeah.
And we won, and we're good.
And so now you have a situation where the Mets have the third best record, but they don't get the bye because they didn't win their division.
Their division.
They're a wild card team. And like I said, the Phillies
sucks.
clinched, which is interesting.
99.9% of the season, you're steamrolling.
Yeah.
And then you just trip right there at the finish line. That sucks. I'm sorry. I would hate to be a Mets fan at this moment, just going like,
No, I think that happened last year with the Dodgers and Giants, where they both had an obscene amount of wins, and you can only have one division winner. That's the thing. So we'll go over this real quick. But so for the MLB playoffs, new format. So 6 teams from each league make it. You got the 3 division winners, of course, then 3 wild cards.
3 division.
So the top 2 division winners. So the 2 division winners with the best records. So in the AL, that's going to be the Astros and the Yankees. They get a bye, right? And then in the NL, it's the Dodgers and the Braves. They get a bye. So then the 3rd seed is going to be the division winner in each league with the 3rd best record. So the matchups are as follows. In the AL, you have the 3rd seed Cleveland Guardians hosting the 6th seed Tampa Bay Rays, and the 4th seed Blue Jays host the 5th seed Mariners. So out of that 4th and 5th seed matchup, the Blue Jays and Mariners, the winner will play the Astros, and then the winner of the Guardians and the Rays will play the Yankees. So
I honestly can't believe there's 3 teams on there I can't believe made it. And that's Tampa.
Tampa's been good for a while, though.
But I just, the way they started off at the gate, I didn't see it. I didn't kind of see that. Philly was a big one. I thought they were in rebuild, like kind of rebuild mode a little bit along with the Nationals.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the new Guardians.
Yeah.
I scratched my head on that.
The White Sox completely fell out of that division, and
I definitely seen the White Sox.
With about 2 weeks to go, La Russa had to retire, or he left for the rest of the season, and then he has since announced he has retired due to health reasons. So they'll be looking for a new manager too, but they look like in firm control of that thing for 80% of the season.
It's going to be an exciting October, I tell you that.
Oh, it will be. And then so on the NL matchups on the other side, 3rd seed Cardinals hosting the 6th seed Phillies when the wild card starts Friday, and then 4th seed Mets hosting the 5th seed Padres. And in those 3-game series, the top seed hosts all 3 games. They're trying to knock it out 3 straight days as fast as possible, so that like the Astros and Yankees aren't waiting around.
I absolutely love the 3-game series because I remember the last time it was just 1 game you were done. My Braves were in one. We lost it on a BS call that was a infield pop fly, whatever they call it, and we lost the game. And that's when we threw all the trash on the field. Remember that? It's horrible.
The pitching matchups are going to be really interesting in this
because you have to adjust for, if you do win, how you're going to go into game 1.
Yeah, and so the season ended Wednesday, and most of these teams didn't have anything to play for since like Monday, or maybe Tuesday. So they should be well rested, but it's just going to be a chess game between the managers as usual. 3-game series makes every move they make even more illuminated. So that'll be interesting.
This is good for the Astros, Yankees, Dodgers, and Braves.
Yeah.
It's good for those 4 teams because they get well rested. They already know their rotation. They already know they're going, they already know what's going to go. Now, this is where managing, gets really deep down into it, for the wild card games.
And they start Tuesday. Next Tuesday.
Oh, next Tuesday, yeah.
So,
they're well rested.
The AL and NLDSs start then. So.
Sometimes I think that, having a bye in all leagues, it kind of is like bad.
It's a double-edged sword because you get your guys that need to heal up, they get rested. You get to sit back and plan. But rest, right? That's the biggest issue. And like, let's say if you were hot, if you had won 5 games in a row, and now you got to stop playing for 7 days.
Right. It stops that momentum versus these guys coming off these wild card games. They're going to have that momentum. They're going to have that fight, that build, and they're going to be steamrolling. And the last thing you want to catch is a team that comes off, sweeping in the wild card and then right into it. So, I mean, like you said, it's a double-edged sword. Most of the people that usually get a bye week, whether it's NFL, basketball, or football, whatever sport, they end up, Losing.
A lot of times, because then the other team is gaining momentum on the other side, right? Even though you're playing and exerting yourself.
Not only coming in with the momentum, but they're the underdogs. They just got their backs against the wall, you know, and They're like, you know what, let's go. And some reason they build like that fight, and they end up taking out a number 1 seed.
Yeah,
That's how it goes.
But
look at my Cowboys last year.
I can't really predict what's going to happen in the NL, but I just know it's going to be Astros Yankees in the ALCS. So
I think you're saying that because you're an Astros fan.
I mean, I might be, but
let's see, right? So we have 3rd seed. It's better to see it visually. Let's pull it up on my phone. I have it right here. All right. Without being a fan.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. We have 6 seed and 3 seed, Tampa and Guardians.
Yeah.
I mean, right now,
Tampa.
Okay, so we move Tampa down. Tampa will take on New York. New York.
Yeah.
Right? So New York goes to ALCS. And then they're going to wait. Seattle, I see Seattle pulling this one out against the Blue Jays, going head up with the Astros. Now, that's one of my hardest matchups is the Astros and Seattle. I think it goes 7 games, and the Astros win. I like that.
Well, that round's only 5.
Oh, 5. Oh, that one, the ALDS is 5. Oh, the ALCS is... Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I see that going all the way, 5 games. It can go either way.
We match up worse against the Blue Jays, so I'm rooting for the Mariners.
Yeah, but over the years, if you look at it, Seattle's had Houston's number almost every year.
Yeah.
Like, whenever you guys go to Safeco Field, right? Safeco Field, they stomp the Astros. I mean... They have a thing out for the Astros.
Right.
So that's going to be really hard. That can go either way. Philly and St. Louis. I like St. Louis.
Yeah.
St. Louis, they just have so much more to play for. St. Louis and Atlanta. I like Atlanta just simply because of the fact that they have a great starting lineup. They have a great rotation. Atlanta go to NLCS. Padres, New York.
Mets.
I like the Mets.
Yeah.
The Mets should have been in the number 2 seed. They just couldn't pull through at the end. LA and Mets. That's going to be a serious right there. I can't wait to see that.
Dodgers.
Dodgers?
Yeah.
Dodgers, I think, set the most wins this year.
Had a lot. Yeah.
111.
Yeah.
And now we have, again, LA and Atlanta. For the 2nd year in a row.
Yeah. LA.
Think LA? I
think so.
So LA, I'm calling my Braves. I just think they're a force to be reckoned with. LA. All right, LA, and who you think's coming out of the AL?
Oh, I'm not picking against the Astros, so Astros.
So you okay. Got it.
Sure.
I'm predicting Braves and Yankees. Just like the old times back in the 90s. We're going to see that come revive again.
Okay.
So you heard it here first.
I think there's a case to be made for any World Series being a great matchup.
Yeah. It is, and just like any given Sunday in football, any series can, any team can win a series.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if we have like a Cinderella, like, you know, the Guardians or Phillies coming out of one of there and reaching the championship game.
That would be crazy.
Championship series.
That would be crazy.
Nuts. That would throw so many people brackets off.
It really would. Speaking of any given Sunday, real quick, NFL Week 4. Okay. We mentioned the Tua thing, so we don't have to rehash that. But, he was carted away and taken to the hospital, and the Dolphins lost 27-15 to the Bengals. Crazy game in London. Vikings beat the Saints 28-25. The Saints kicker double doinked field goal at the end.
Man, that was such a heartbreaker. I seen that. Oh,
yeah.
Great game. Definitely was.
And then... there's going to be another game in London, right?
This weekend.
Yeah.
Green Bay and New York Giants.
Yeah. Well, at some point, we've talked about this before, I think. At some point, they're just going to expand over there.
I think they're going to have a team.
That's what they want.
I think they're going to put a team. I think they're talking about a team in London, and they're going to do another team here in the States. I forgot who it was. I can't recall, but
and they're basically just going to live over there. They're basically going to live in each place for 8 weeks, probably. Who knows? Who knows how that would work? You would just have to schedule it around bye weeks and all that.
Yeah,
for travel.
That would be a hard schedule. I think that's why they haven't done it yet. But as you can see, we're starting to get more games over there.
Yeah. And then your darling pick for the season, the Detroit Lions. Oof, 48-45. Geno Smith looking like a quarterback again.
Let me tell you, Geno. Let's talk about Geno real quick.
For Seattle,
Geno is really, really showing out. He's now getting this
highest
is a perfect
completion
opportunity.
percentage.
Yeah, this is the perfect example of when your number's called to come out there and play like you want to, play like you want the job.
Yeah.
Geno's coming out there playing strong. He's not listening to nobody. He had a little bit of a rough game, I think, game 2 or game 3, but last week he came out strong, showing that he could lead this team to victory. He is doing better statistically than Wilson is. So, do you think that was a good call by Seattle to let him go?
Too early
Denver
to tell.
Pick him up?
I don't know.
I think it's too early to tell.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, Seattle is definitely benefiting from it in my, financial wise, going into, salary, next year.
Yeah.
They're doing good. I was about to say something about, my Lions, my Cinderella team.
Yeah.
Those are some dogs.
They are.
Like, they don't give up. They were down like 24 points in that game.
Yeah.
I think they just first half they're just like getting into it, and then third quarter and fourth quarter they snap into reality. Like, damn, we gotta win this game, guys, and they start coming out. We knew on paper and by numbers that their defense was just horrendous. Anybody play Madden 23, they'll know Lions has the worst defense in the game, and that is true. They have a crappy D line, they have a crappy linebacker core there. I think their best player is on a defensive tackle. Mm-hmm. So we knew this was going to happen. High scoring games, they just need to get rolling quicker. They can put up points. We know that. Their offense is key.
Yeah.
They can put up points. Their defense just needs to stop it. Get a couple stops in there. Help your O. But I still have my Lions making a last minute effort into the playoffs this year.
Okay, well they're 1-3, so they better start sooner than later. For that. Eagles are the only undefeated team in the NFL.
I hate to see that.
Ugly game against the Jags, but still won 29-21. And then in another shootout, Kansas City outscores the Bucs 41-31.
Well, that wasn't a shootout. That was actually a blowout.
Well,
they got
points. Points were scored.
It was 30. It was 31. I think it was 31-14 at like end of third quarter. The rest of those points were just garbage time points. Kansas City came out there and said, you know what? They whipped us in the Super Bowl. It's time to get our revenge.
Yeah.
And they did exactly what they went out to do. They stuck to. That's a perfect example of sticking to the game plan, knowing what you guys want to do, and also you see Mahomes out there just having fun with it.
Yes.
Oh man, that's what it's about. Having fun,
good to see,
but also beating up on the GOAT.
Yeah, and then I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that the Texans, they looked all right. Still losing, but
I think they're only team left with 0 wins.
That is correct. They are the opposite of the Eagles.
No.
At 0, well, not even 0-4. They're 0. What ties go in the middle?
Ties go in the middle.
Or then 1-3.
0-1-3.
Oh, okay.
It goes at the end.
0-3-1.
0-3-1.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Because they had that ridiculous tie with the Colts at the beginning of the season.
They have a good. They have some building blocks. They do.
They do.
If they can build upon that, then they'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's going to take a little bit. It's going to take 2 or 3 years, Texans fans, but you guys will get there.
And just need one win to tie your Lions. So
Yeah,
not too bad.
That division is still up for grabs. That whole division's
pretty
horrible.
bad. Yeah.
I see a team coming out 7-10 out of 7-9.
It's happened before.
7-9 going to the playoffs. I see a team like that coming out of this division.
It has happened before, so I would not put it past the AFC South on that one. So done with the sports portion. Let's move on to the cards portion. What do you got for us?
All right. So we just recently got 21-22 Mosaic Hobby FIFA World Cup. If you guys are not,
Catch
in the
it
loop
now.
yet,
Yeah.
We have the World Cup coming here in less than a month.
Yeah.
And right now would be your best chance to grab some of these cards while they're still low. Like some of these boxes, some of these hobby boxes are still really low. I promise you, 1,000%, expect all soccer products to go up by almost 50 to 60% by the end of the month or the first week of the month. So, like I said, come in here and grab it as soon as you can. All right, we have the new Mosaic FIFA World Cup hobby in stores. I think they're $324.99 per hobby box. Unless you have some points, you can turn in your points and lower down that number. We have inbound for the next, I think, week and a half. We have 2022 Topps Chrome. Oh, no, Topps Archive Baseball. Speaking of Chrome, we still have Chrome hobby boxes if you guys want to come in. Those silver packs, we will be getting them. And if you buy a box, you'll be allocated those boxes. Those packs. We also have, that comes out on the 12th of October. And then on the 19th of October, we have two bigger releases. We have Bowman Sterling Baseball hobby boxes. And we have 21-22 Spectra Basketball hobby. When are we going to be done with 21-22? I have no clue. But I do know that Panini is back. Is really behind because of printing materials and ink.
Yeah.
So for basketball, they're almost a year behind. I think they're like 9 or 10 months behind. Mm-hmm. Football, they're about 6 to 7 months behind. And baseball, that's Topps. So Topps needs to worry about putting their super short prints in the boxes before releasing their product. I think that has really killed Topps Chrome.
Yeah.
Because they forgot to. Now they're giving out the packs. But okay, here's a pack with short prints. I don't want that way. I want to be able to hunt it. I want to find it. Right?
Yeah.
So that kind of killed it. So you can come in here and get your boxes for half of the prices of what they were at release. And that's all I have for you until next time when we go through the next range of products coming out, which I believe will be in 2 weeks or so.
But I would say for right now, bank on soccer because it's a world product. I mean, it's popular across the world.
It's the most popular sport, honestly, in all of the world.
The second the group play begins and some names start to formulate of like who the hottest players in the world are, and some of the hottest players aren't even in the World Cup. So now you're going to have this bonus of like discovering the new hottest players.
Yep.
So
you never know.
And it's going to be great. I hope U.S. has a good showing. We'll see.
We'll see.
It's going to be tough groups.
No matter what, it's going to be fun to see it because it only comes around every 4 years. I'm really excited just to watch it. And this is the only time I really actually watch soccer is in World Cup.
Okay.
It's the only time because it's like they really hype this thing up like Super Bowl atmosphere. It's nuts.
It gets it's crazy, and you have
I'll be watching
fans all over the world just hanging on every kick and penalty and corner. It's pretty amazing.
Who do I want to win? I don't have a favorite. I just want to see good games.
Yeah.
As a fan, I just want to see good games. I don't want to see blowouts. I want to see some down to the wire. I want to see some nice goals, some great plays. That's what makes my World Cup.
And I just want U.S. to make it out of their group.
That's a plus.
Yeah. That's all I want out of that. We're going to close the show with the glossary term.
The glossary term is?
I think you had not heard of this before.
I didn't.
But NIL, name, image, and licensing. So this is for, if you're a player, you are now allowed to sell your name, image, and license, which could open the door for one of everyone's favorite PlayStation games of all time, NCAA, to return because
they did. No, actually, they're talking about bringing it back.
Right.
I'm a big video game guy. They've been talking about this.
This is going to seal the deal. They're trying to figure out how to work this in there and the money wise and stuff.
Get ready for NCAA 2024 next year.
So NCAA has now brought in the name, imaging, and license deals, and as we mentioned in our story at the top, Boise State has been the first team to capitalize on this by having a trading card set, and first time ever that a team has had a trading card set with every single player, because we're talking like 80 something kids on that roster for a college Division I college team. So you're gonna hear that a lot. I mean, you probably already heard it. It's paired up with NFTs a lot because a lot of the Instagram influencers. WWE actually signs 10 NCAA athletes a year. They sign like gymnasts, baseball players, wrestlers, whomever, just hoping that they can capitalize on that name.
Yep.
They take them to the training facilities that they have, and if they turns out they have wrestling talent, bonus. But if not, they're just gonna kind of. I mean, a lot of these athletes have 1, 2, 3 million Instagram followers already, so you're just buying into that bait. Like, it's an investment. So it opens up a whole new world. And I had mentioned, SMU paying the players straight up, but then you're allowed to do whatever you want on top of that.
It's gonna be neat. It's gonna be neat.
Yeah. And as you mentioned, a challenge going forward for smaller schools to compete, for bigger schools to go, okay, but we also have this. Because the kids are going to be
one-ups.
Well, there's going to be.
Oh, there is. What I'm saying, though, is like every college will be able to offer it.
Yes,
Well,
that's correct.
To a certain extent. It will allow people to make a little bit of money instead of living on pennies throughout their whole 4 or 5 years, however long they play there at the college.
Right, but at Alabama, you could probably work your way onto being like on a billboard for like
definitely.
used car sale lots or something.
That's like Yankees,
Yeah,
like,
right. So there's definitely going to be tiers, even if it's open to everyone. Well, Lou, thanks again for being on Cards to Yards.
One last announcement.
Sure, yeah.
You guys can go ahead and click on the link to get over to our webpage. We do have some football breaks up. We are getting ready to post some baseball breaks up. They're all randomized, or some of them are pick your teams, or they're tiers. All you have to do is just go to our webpage, click on sports, go down to sports cards, hit breaks, and choose the break that you guys want. If you're not into breaks, check out JT's live streams. That happens Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday after hours. Other than that, that's all I have for you guys.
Absolutely. So come out to the Adventure Stadium.
Yeah.
Get start ripping open some soccer packs. We're almost into the middle of football and hockey and basketball just started.
Basketball's getting ready to crank up. The NBA season is looking good.
Yeah, so get over to the Adventure Stadium, which of course is located on top of Adventure Begins Comics and Games here in Conroe. So get out to the store. Lou and the others will help you educate you which soccer packs to start ripping open. So
I'll rip with you.
All right, again for Lou, I'm Mark. See you next time on Cards to Yards.
Well, gang, that's all for today's episode. So join us next week. Cars to Yards, brought to you by the Adventure Stadium and the Adventure Begins. Again, we're located off 1488 and Woodland Square Boulevard. See you next time.